All right. So, what's popping, y'all? This is your girl, Lotus J. I can't hear nothing. We live at the Vibe, HighVibe. There we go. Media Marketing Group. And this is our Tuesday show, the Black of the Berry. What's crack-a-lackin'?
Nothing much.
She on spring break, so she all feeling extra good.
Extra sleep in the morning.
Good. So you ought to be well rested and
a little bit.
You do anything fun so far?
I went to the Jet Relays this
weekend.
Yeah. And that was awesome.
Let me tell y'all about the Jet Relays. The Jet Relays is the first of its kind here in the DFW area, and it is a track meet that is centered around HBCUs and our black high schools. Now, that's not discriminating against anybody, but it is just us putting a focus on our people because we need that. And I have to give a major shout out to my brother Jermaine Trotter, who had a vision and he saw it through. He worked really hard. He had a team of people, but he really worked hard on that event, and I'm very proud of him. We had probably about 8,000 people that attended, and that is so major for the first one.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, for real, like, I didn't even know. I was kind of confused because I felt like I heard of it before, but because of the amount of people that were there and the vendors, like, the turnout was amazing.
It was.
That it didn't even look like a first event.
It didn't.
It looked like something that goes on all the time. Mm-hmm. So he did an awesome job.
I am so proud of him.
Yes.
So shout out to Jermaine and the whole team that worked with him. Mm-hmm. We had a reception the Friday before. We had a lot of HBCUs to come in, and it was really phenomenal. So you all make sure that you watch for that next year. Pay attention and support it. It's a lot of fun. We have vendors, we have food trucks, we had entertainment and music, and K104 and Joe Torre was the MC, and we just did the dang old thing. About awesome. 4 or 5 after parties all over the place. So next year, March 9th, 2019, you better have your face there because you missed out if you didn't go this year.
Exactly. You definitely missed out. Like, I kind of regret not getting me a Jet Relay shirt.
Oh, well, you can still get one.
You know? Yeah.
You can still get one.
It was an awesome event. Yeah. It was awesome.
You can still get one.
I feel like the whole of Fort Worth, from the south, from the east side, from the southwest side, and from the west side was there. For real.
So pretty much all the black folks in Fort Worth.
Pretty much. I just wanted to call it the side. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, pretty much it was an awesome event.
It was off the chain. So I'm proud, for real. I really am. And I worked with him a little bit too. So I'm very proud to have just seen him from beginning to end just work and put it together. Because he had some challenges, but he didn't quit. So I have a lot of respect for that. All right, so let me see what else is going on. We had a Western party at Brick on Saturday night. That was our after party for the Jet Relays. It was fun. Everybody was in their cowboy hats and little cowgirl gear. It was fun. We still played our regular music, but the dress up was kind of cool. So that was kind of fun.
That's nice. And I want to give a shout out to Georgette. It was her birthday.
Shout out to the Queen, Jet.
So we celebrated her birthday on Saturday. It was a lot of fun. So shout out to Queen Jet. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sister. So it's a lot of stuff kind of going on. Let me see.
What else happened on Saturday?
Oh no, I was just exhausted this weekend.
I was exhausted too. I was tired.
Yeah.
But, there's always something going on with HighVibe, with Brick House, with the Dog Bookshop. Just check our site. Like us on Facebook, The Black of the Berry, HighVibe Marketing and Media Group. Those are 2 different Facebook pages. So make sure you go and like one of those pages, and you can go on those pages for more information about what's going on in the community. There's something coming up this weekend, ain't it?
What is it?
We had somebody on our show that was doing like a walk for a brother that.
Oh, yeah. So that's what we had last week, right?
Was that last week? Or the week
so let's look him up, because we can't be half giving it.
Yeah, I think it's going on this weekend. I need to make sure I'm there.
Can you look on the Black of the Berry page and find that, since you brought it up?
I know.
We can't have given it.
I know.
Okay, so
but what else is popping? What else is going on at Brick?
let me do Brick announcements. Can you go open the door for our guests, please?
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
thank you. So I'm going to give y'all some announcements on HighVibe and let you know what's going on between HighVibe and Brick. And she's bringing in our guests, and then we'll get into our show. But let me let you know about our upcoming shows. So on Mondays from 10 until 12, we have a show that I absolutely love, and it is called Speak Up. And the hosts are Akima, Chris, and I think Haley is a co-host as well, but I'm not sure. But they're younger and they're full of energy. They read a lot, which I love, because people that read a lot, they have a wealth of knowledge about a lot of different topics, and it just shows their diversity. So when they come around, either here in the studio, sometimes they hang out, at my house, or my son is just kind of telling me things that they're talking about. But yeah, they are very, 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 very well rounded young people who have a wealth of knowledge, and they're bringing it. So they do events and they have a lot of fun, but this is positivity going on in our community with our young people, so we have to support that. We have to support that. So y'all tune in when you can from 10 to 12 on Mondays. During the day, they have a daytime show, 10 to 12, and it's called Speak Up. So we missed the show yesterday, but they will be back on air next Monday, this Monday coming up. So that's Monday from 10 to 12. Also on Monday evenings from 6 until 7:30, we have The Conversation. The Conversation is a fun show. It is a group of, they're very mature for HighVibe, because some of us just really kick it and we kind of clown. But The Conversation, they're just a really cool group of individuals, and they bring a lot of different topics to the table. They talk a lot about health and wellness and relationships and just being well-rounded individuals. So that's on Mondays from 6 until 7:30. And then also on Mondays from 8:30 until 10, we have Straight from the Hip with my girl, Shabella Rose, the Rose that grew from the concrete. And she has a show that focuses on local talent. So if you are an artist, she really caters more to the hip-hop and rap industry. If you are an artist that is looking to get some time and kind of just get yourself out there and just be connected to the music scene here in DFW, then definitely come. You didn't see her? You got it. Okay. So definitely tune in to Shabella Rose show on Monday evenings from 8:30 until 10 o'clock, and reach out to her on Facebook. And again, her show is called Straight from the Hip, and she really does a great job of getting new artists out there and some exposure and some time where they can kind of get their product out there. So definitely reach out to her. All right, so that is Monday's lineup. We got a lot going on Mondays, which is good. We trying to grow a little bit. Tuesdays is my day, you know it. The Black of the Berry is in the house, and this is our Tuesday night show. We do a lot of conversation on things that are going on that are directly related to the Black community. So we try to switch it up, and it's myself, Solar, and G, who is not here tonight. Shout out to the homie G Money. You gotta shout out to the homie.
Yeah. What's up, G? Petty G Wop. What's popping?
Alright, so y'all make sure y'all tune in and hang out with us on Tuesday evenings. And any of the shows, if you have a product or a book that you've written or anything that you are trying to get out there, you have an event coming up, a new business, you are more than welcome to be a guest on one of our shows. Just reach out to us and we can get you squared away if you're looking to host your own show. We have information on that too. So just shoot us a message on any one of our social media, HighVibe Media Marketing Group, or the Black of the Berry, and y'all can definitely shout out and get connected with this, and we'll get you plugged in. So again, if you're looking to host your own show, if you have a product, an event, or something that you're trying to market, or sometimes it's just a topic, something that you think you want to bring to the public, then let's have a conversation about it. Reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you, see what show it's a good fit for. Okay, also on HighVibe Media Marketing Group, we have The Situation that is on Wednesday evenings. It is a live show that we do out of Brick House Lounge in Arlington, Texas. And The Situation is sometimes we have men, sometimes we have women, sometimes we do panel, sometimes we do debate. So we have a lot of different things that we have planned for you all. Tomorrow we will be talking about guns in the community and gun control and all that kind of stuff. So again, come out. It is free to the public, no cover charge, open seating. We have great food and drink specials. So y'all come on out and get into the conversation. A lot of y'all don't have school this week. Ain't no teaching going on. So y'all can come out and get in on that conversation as well. Again, Brick House Lounge on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 10:30 for The Situation. All right, that's all the updates I'm going to do. I'm going to give a special announcement for an event that we do have coming up on April 7th, and that event is called It's Our Time. Hi, Connie. That's one of my sisters. That's Connie. Y'all see Connie? Wave at the camera, Connie. So yeah, so April 7th, we have a luncheon that is going to be absolutely fabulous. It is called It's Our Time, and it is centered around women. We're celebrating the accomplishments of women and just kind of supporting our sisters and their businesses and just whatever it is that they have that they want to bring to the table. We'll have vendors. We have Connie is actually one of the speakers on the panel, and we're just going to have a good time. So y'all can go to Eventbrite and get more information. It's also on BH Lounge Arlington page. It's on HighVibe, the Black of the Berry. So my page, we have it all out there. Tickets are $25. We would love for you to come and be a part of that event. Again, it's a luncheon April 7th. Starts at 11. We do have space for a few more vendors if you're interested. And it's filling up. So you guys definitely want to be a part of that. We have great food and some games and some giveaways, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all make sure that you get involved in that. All right, so that's all I got. What you got?
I got nothing.
You gotta have something.
I couldn't find. Black History Fact?
Okay, so let me introduce Connie. Connie is our guest for the night, and we're talking about sisterhood tonight. So Connie and I are developing this new sisterhood that we kind of excited about. So we wanted to have conversation again. She's part of the panel discussion as well, and I needed my new sister to meet my. I don't want to call him my old, nah, because Marlo is my old. Nah, sorry, that's my big sister, my real sister. We got to say mom and daddy. All right, so and Sharon, my baby sister. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway.
Hey Sharon, hey Marlo.
I had lunch with them today too. Well, brunch. It was kind of fun over Marlo's. All right, so we're going to do a little bit on our Black History Fact. I'm going to come back with a quote, then we're going to get into our topic for the night. What you got?
Okay, this is who I have. John Coffey. I don't think I did him before.
I don't remember that name.
Yeah, I think I was going to do him, but then something happened, and then I didn't do him. But anyway, John Coffey. Okay, so this guy is not only an abolitionist, but he's a businessman, a Quaker businessman. He was a sea captain and a patriot. Now, what's weird about it is that every time I research a person in Black history from a certain time period, it's usually like the late 1700s, and up, right? And so these people always have different jobs or careers that they have done, but they don't meet. They don't fit, together.
What you mean?
Like he was a sea captain, and he was also an abolitionist.
Oh,
Like those two things, just
very extreme.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you out there on sea,
Right.
sea, like that has nothing to do with.
Like, you got a whole lot going on,
Right?
Yeah.
And he was a businessman
Okay.
too. So, people, during this time always have like a multitude of things that they are involved in, and it's almost like maybe the sea captain position was just something that he had to do to earn money. Then maybe he learned a trade or something and got involved, with his people and the culture. I don't know, but all I know is that black people during that time was making it happen.
Okay.
They was making it
And
happen.
we don't know enough about that.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but his story is interesting because he was he was a mix. His dad was of the Ashanti tribe, and
Okay.
he was taken. His father, he was taken when he was 10 years old, and sold to a Quaker. And his mother was native. I can't pronounce the tribe. It starts with a W. So I can't pronounce
That's
it.
okay.
But she was a native. So, when they got together and they had 10 children. Well, his father was taken at 10, given to a Quaker or sold to a Quaker man. And the man was so torn between, his religion as a Quaker and between slavery and all of that. So he ended up freeing. Paul Coffey's father, and from that point, he went off, got married, saved money, and bought like over 100 acres of land, and they had 10 children. So I thought that was a beautiful thing.
So there's a black man in 1700s that bought over 100 acres
yes,
of land.
I think it was like 116 acres of
Wow.
land. Yes, and farmed it.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. So, but here's another twist to it. Paul Coffey was working with British, the Great Britain, to, I guess, like send free black men back to Sierra Leone. And from my understanding, they kind of founded the area of Sierra Leone. But what I'm confused about is if they took freed black men or black people from America and then they sent them back to Africa. Because this is not the first time that we've heard of people going back to Africa, right? They established Liberia, and people went back to Liberia, right? Or established this whole city and sent free black people there. But I'm just confused as to if the freed black people in America, they were Americans who went to Africa, and so now they're like, they were Americans and now they're African, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they still have...
I wonder if it's like dual citizenship where they can be considered both. Is that what you ask? Is that what you're getting at?
No, I'm just... At first, I just didn't know that Sierra Leone was not a place already established in Africa. It was something that was created, which means that... It means that their lineage comes from America. Or, I mean, I know it comes from Africa because people were taken from Africa, but they spent a lot of time in America before they went back to Africa.
But there's probably still a lot of them, even from other countries in Africa, too, though, that came to Sierra Leone.
And they just made this whole... new group of people, which brought me to another thought. But he helped Great Britain colonize Sierra Leone, and his business was shipping. So he built a lucrative shipping empire, and he established the first racially integrated school in Westport, Massachusetts. And somewhere I read he was like the first millionaire of that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was
It's
amazing.
a lot of impressive stuff.
It's a lot of impressive history on black people that we don't learn.
We just
in school.
never get exposed to that. They just really robbed us of our true story.
Exactly. So, I mean, for those of you out there that want to learn more about Paul Coffey, do some research. Coffey is CUFFEE.
And she'll put it in our group page, too, so you all can look it up. And she usually puts little notes out there to help teach. So some of the people that you learn about, because I learned all kind of new stuff on the Black of the Berry, because she brings different people, and then that's an opportunity for you to go and see a little highlight. Then you do some digging,
Yeah.
and then you can share with us some stuff that you learned. So we would love that.
Exactly. I only just give you a snapshot, you know, and then you take it and you build from there.
Right.
Alrighty.
Okay. So I'm gonna do our quote. So Connie, what we do is we give a I'll do like a quote, and you guys have to think whose quote it is. So I'm gonna give you two. Here's the first one. Tonight's subject is sisterhood. So here's the first one. There is no force equal to a woman determined to rise. I know if Dr. Rogers is watching, he knows who that is.
Oh.
There is no force equal to a woman determined to rise.
Dr. Rogers, if you're watching.
No, don't tell her nothing. Don't tell her nothing.
Why?
G, you can call in and give an answer.
G is going to be cheating.
Yeah, he'll look it up.
He will. And he's not going to tell anybody either.
So what are you doing? Put your phone down until you get an answer. I don't trust that. No.
I'm going to.
Nope, and nope. No.
I don't know.
Who is
I
it?
don't know.
You gotta guess. Who you think?
So my first thought is going to be Maya Angelou.
Okay, that's a good thought.
Simply because that is normally her train of thought when she's talking about women rising and the power of a woman.
That is a very good thought. Do you have a thought?
No, I don't have a thought.
God, you can't even guess.
Listen, my brain don't work
Oh,
that
my
way.
God.
Okay? My brain work with name, then I can tell you about the name. Not give me the information, I guess who said it.
Yes, you can. It's just a guess. It don't matter. It's just a guess. Come on, anything. Just say something.
Okay, what she said, Oprah Winfrey. I know Oprah didn't say that.
And I don't know that she said it. I'm just.
I know. I don't think she said it either.
She's just helping you guess.
I know. I think Maya Angelou sounds like a better guess.
I really tricked y'all. It was kind of dirty. Because it's a man. And I know y'all was thinking it was going to be a lady. I know.
He's a smart
That is
man.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Wow.
I love that quote. There is no force equal to a woman determined to rise. Okay, here's a second one.
Thank you, W.B. Du Bois.
Dream big. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. It is a woman.
Darn, I was about to say MLK.
Nope. Because you heard the word dream. Nope.
You know what? And I just read that quote.
You did?
I just read that quote, and I can't remember who said. I'm going to say Oprah Winfrey because I am Oprah's biggest fan, and that sounds like she would.
It does
say.
sound like Oprah.
And it's also something that Pastor Ricky Rush would say about dreaming big, and it's also something that I incorporate too
In your
when I
life.
talk in my life.
Okay.
Is to always dream big.
So did you guess? Who did you say? Oh, you was gonna say MLK.
I was going to say MLK.
It's a lady, so I'm gonna give you another one.
Mm.
She guessed Oprah. You
I'm
guessed.
thinking dream big. Okay, let me think. I don't know. I have no idea.
Your butt so scared to not get it right that you scared to even guess.
Because I can't think of anybody that would be.
This
like a
gonna
good
shock
fit.
y'all for real.
Okay, wait.
This gonna shock you.
If
Like,
it's shocking,
but it's a woman.
Current day
Mm-hmm.
poet. Can we get some hints?
During slavery time.
Man,
Sojourner Truth.
But that is a heck of a guess. One more and that's it. And you gotta get it because it's one more name.
But Bethune, what's her name?
Mary
Bethune?
McLeod Bethune.
No, Harriet Tubman.
Oh, I didn't.
I would have that. I mean, honestly, like,
Harriet
Yes.
But
Tubman.
I would never.
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
think her.
all right, y'all. So I thought those were cute.
Darn.
For women.
Okay. You know, you have to be well read to get these quotes for real.
Then study.
Yeah.
Then read.
You're right. You have to
Right.
be well read.
Which
well
one would you
studied.
say?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm just telling our viewers.
I'm telling y'all too, because
I'm sure that they didn't get it either. You know what I'm saying?
Some of them did those well read, like I know my doc did.
Let me see.
Okay, so while she's looking that up, I'm going to read this and we're going to get into our topic. So, in the fall of 2014, Solar, Jet, and myself, we started an organization called Soul Sister, and it is very important to us. It's been dormant for just for a year, because we had a lot of different things kind of going on, and but it is designed to be a sisterhood that is an answer to the cry of so many sisters, like, where is my support system? Mm-hmm. So when we did this, the first year we did this fabulous weekend, and I'm still like just outdone on how we pulled it together, especially if you all knew the story of how all of this even came together, what was going on during the time. But we did a 3-day weekend, mm-hmm. and my sister-in-law, who lives in Milwaukee, came down for the event, she and my brother, and she wrote this poem, which is one of my favorites. So it's called Sister. So here it is. I stay grounded because my sisters stand their ground. I stay down because my sisters uplift me and gift me with the benefits of their experience. I experience the continuation of myself through the souls of strong black women who never wanted to be strong, but hold it down and remain feminine in spite of a society that emasculates men and systematically encourages us to be like, look like, talk like, and act like them instead of being true women. I believe in the power of sisterhood, because sisterhood is sister good. And I embrace the concept of a divinely ordained circle of soul sisters and spirit friends, whom the Almighty places around us to protect us and affect us in positive ways on less than perfect days. So we should show our sisters more love more often, greeting one another with genuine smiles and hugs when we meet, and speaking positivity to our sisters on the streets, because sister love is good love. Never will I let go of these truths I hold, and I hold your hand as we stand firm against oppression, resisting spiritual regression, because sisterhood is a blessing, and I am blessed to be my sister's keeper, keeping her in line, keeping her mind focused on sisterhood, because sisterhood is sister good. I love that poem. I don't do it any justice. She is a real dynamic poet. That is not me. I'm just reading her words, but the words are beautiful. All right, y'all, let's talk about it. When you hear, let me ask Connie, because that's our guest for tonight. When you hear the term sisterhood, what do you think about that? How do you interpret that?
So when I think about sisterhood, I think of sisterhood in terms of an alliance. And an alliance is a relationship that's based on the sharing of common goals and a common concern for the safety and the preservation of a value that all of the parties consider to be important, significant, and worthy of protection, and that would be ourselves as women. And then that level of trust in that alliance is the most often equal to the level of commitment that each party perceives in the other with respect to protecting and fostering that shared value. And so the reason that I say that is because if I am your sister and I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and let's say we're in a situation, for example, where there may be a conversation that's being had, and my sister Sola's not present. Mm-hmm. However, Sola becomes the topic of mm-hmm. conversation. Mm-hmm. Now, if I say that I am my sister's keeper and that I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with her, for me to sit in the midst of this conversation and not either recuse myself or stop the conversation, mm-hmm. I'm being complicit, mm-hmm. which means that by being silent, because sometimes we feel like if we don't say anything that we're not agreeing with what they're saying, but in actuality we are.
Right.
And it's called complacency. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. at the end of the day, I have a responsibility. In fact, I have an obligation to say, stop it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or, Sola's not here to defend herself. So let's table that discussion mm-hmm. until Sola's present.
That's right.
Because I feel that if I say something behind Sola's back, as a woman, I should be able to also say that same thing in her presence. And so that's why sisterhood is so important to me, is that we protect each other, that we value each other, that we preserve that relationship, and that we take each other seriously as people. And taking a person seriously means to respect them. Which also means I don't get to say whatever I want to say to Lotus or Solis just because you're my sister.
Right.
And when I do speak to you, I need to speak to you from a place of respect.
That's right.
And respectfully. So for me, sisterhood means to stand shoulder to shoulder with each one of you ladies at this table, and in your presence, as well as when you're not present, to be there, not be complicit, but to make certain that I preserve the integrity and the value of the sisterhood.
Okay.
Wow.
What'd you think?
All of that. All of that. I also, I look, when I think of the word sisterhood, I kind of look at it as like better than a sorority, right? Because I think we have one common goal in mind, and that's to be each other's support system, whether it's good or bad. I look at.
What do you mean by that? Good or bad?
Good or bad? If you get a promotion at your job,
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, we
celebrate that.
Yeah, we're celebrating you. Or if you going through a divorce or a financial crisis,
then we're supporting you.
Yeah,
We're holding you up.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, sisterhood is also to me like we may not be related, you know, by blood, but we're so close to where it feels like we grew up in the house together. And it's just that mutual respect and love, and you know, whatever, like you said, if I come to you and I have to address something, I'm coming out of respect, but I also feel like you're coming out of love too, because we're always supposed to be helping each other be better, you know, be better sisters, be better citizens, just be better people, period, right? So I look at a sisterhood like that. Like I look at someone that I can really depend on for emotional support, because I know that a lot of women, or I know me, you know, I need the emotional support, whether it's I need the positive energy so that I can be successful, and you know, and all of us in turn can be successful, or if I'm sad, like I still need it, you know, all the time, because we go through a lot as women, and a lot of times we don't have that support. Our families shun us for whatever reason, you know, because we probably have a different belief system or fell out with someone in the family, but I think ultimately, you know, your sisters, like people who say that they are there for you and they understand you, because we understand each other as women, as black women especially, we understand each other. So I think that having somebody that's not directly related, but that's so close to where it feels like they're related, they're just more, it seems more, I don't know what the word would be, but it just seems more personable, because you've got
Kind of genuine.
Yeah, because we came together.
We made a choice.
Yeah, that's what it is, for a specific purpose, and not just because we got the same daddy or mama.
Or both.
Yes, or both.
And I think all of it is very relevant. I agree. I think sisterhood is extremely important. I think it is a term that is used too lightly, too loose, as well as not enough. And what I mean by that is, I think people should take it serious. When you embrace people, it is a choice. When you are exploring new relationships, it really is okay when people don't mix. It is. It's okay, because all personalities just don't click. But as Connie was saying, if that is the situation, what we don't want to do is bash each other, and we don't want to attack each other, and we don't want to use it as an excuse to belittle somebody and bring somebody down and all of that, because we as women, and specifically black women, deal with so much, And I know every nationality, everybody thinks that they do, and they do. But I can only speak from a black woman's perspective because that is the only experience I've ever had. And that's not to water down or minimize anybody else's. But I can tell you that it is essential for our survival. The Creator did not put anybody in the world by themselves, which means it is important for us to have individuals that we can lock in with that can be a support. And it's good and bad. Like Solar was saying, it doesn't matter what the situation is. If it's we happy when you happy, and then when it's time to ride, we all riding. So what happened? We all going, we all fighting, we all celebrating, we all loving, we all, and that is the true essence of sisterhood to me. Is I am my sister's keeper, and I want to be. I want to be like. I think it's important for us to appreciate how important that role is, because like Solar said, when you spend time getting to know somebody, you're detecting, does this person fit with me? Can I relate to them? Can I trust them? How do I feel when I talk to them? Do I feel a energy of acceptance, or do I feel like they're judging me? Do I feel like they genuinely care, or do I feel like they're really not listening anyway? They just want to know my business, because there's people like that out there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I think a lot of times we have our guards up, and if you go back through history, and I was having this conversation with a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, sisterhood and just, relationships. And part of that is when you go back to the slavery days, which we all relate to. I think the separation started when you had slaves that were considered, because of their color of their skin, they were
their vision,
their house slaves, and then you had your slaves that were in the field slaves. So there was a separation there, and then we had the brown paper bag test, and if you didn't pass that test, then you didn't fit. And so a real example of that is that this was just this past Sunday. I was in a store. I had to get a battery for my car. And so I'm in a store, and, I'm just kind of passing time. And I actually went back to the store to return something because it was just kind of mindless shopping. And the young lady that was behind the counter, I said to her, and I said, I said, you're a very beautiful young lady. She's probably about 22, 23 years old. And she was like, oh, thank you. And she said, I appreciate you giving me that compliment. She said, because we as women don't compliment each other. And I'm thinking, here's somebody that's quite mature to be so young. So I thought. And as we continue the conversation, she says, I have a friend of mine, and people tell, I think she's very beautiful. She said, but people say that she's not because she's dark-skinned and the color of her skin. But she has really smooth skin, and I think that dark-skinned people can be pretty too.
She
said, and I'm listening to what she said, and
that's
that was
what
the
she was
operative
taught.
word. She said, can be pretty too. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, you're not so much past the paper bag test yourself. But I saw it as a teachable moment for me, and I took that opportunity, and it was a very small one-bell opportunity to say to her, what do you think? How do you feel about that individual? Does the color of an individual's skin matter to you? And she said, well, no. She said, it really doesn't matter. She said, I just don't know why people, say things like that. And she said, and I said, well, one of the things that you need to understand, I said, all women of all color are beautiful. I said, especially dark-skinned women. And I said, I have a friend that is the most beautiful woman in the world, and her skin is dark. It has nothing to do with her intellect. It has nothing to do with her value. It has nothing to do with her worth. It is how God made her. We didn't get to choose how we were going to look, how tall we were going to be, how short we were going to be, what type of lifestyle we were going to lead. That was chosen for us if you go back to biblical times. We didn't get a choice in that. So I think as a woman and as a generation that's evolving, and as we talk about sisterhood, we have so many differences. It's the color of our skin, natural hair versus straight hair, hair weave versus non-hair weave, short versus tall. I mean, there's so many things within our own race that pulls us apart. whereby I think we need to find a common ground because we're more alike than different. The same challenges my light-skinned sister is going to have is the exact same challenge that you're going to have by the simple virtue that every white person sees you. If you're not white,
you're black.
You're black.
Period. Period. I don't care what shade of black you
black
right.
you are.
Right.
So when we start looking at all of the challenges that we have just as a race and talking about sisterhood, I feel like if I'm supporting you, Solar, if I'm supporting you, Lotus, I feel like that's my responsibility to uplift you and to make you rise higher, because as you go higher, I go higher.
That's right.
We all succeed. If I succeed, you succeed. Now, if I feel like, well, you know what? If I have Lotus get to the next level, or if Solar gets to the next level, she's going to take away from me. My role as your sister is to add to what you have and to compliment you. And I feel like sisterhood relationships should be that. I should be, as you said, your support. Not here to say, Solar, you're right or wrong, or you shouldn't do that, because that's I don't have the right to judge you, but I do have an obligation to support you.
So let me ask y'all this. What is your biggest challenge dealing with other black women? Solar, you tell me first.
Ooh.
Just real transparent right here.
I know. I think
she gonna say something, then I'm gonna know she talk about me. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
I don't think
good.
I am. But I think when I see other black women in public, a lot of times they seem to be standoffish. It just kind of depends on the environment that I'm in. But they'll either appear to be standoffish, or they'll have like this mean mug like guys do, and I just don't understand that with women. I don't know. But they have this mean mug on their face, and you want to say something like, oh, because that's usually like an icebreaker, right? Your hair is so beautiful. I love your shoes. Or, you kind of want to say something to kind of loosen them up a little bit. But, or if you just simply say hi and they don't return the greeting, then it's kind of like,
what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, like you don't really know how to approach them, because I just always feel like it's easier to crack a joke with a guy, and they're going to give you some feedback, versus a female. It's kind of hard to, because you can say something like, "Oh, I love your shoes; they're so pretty," and then if they just say thank you,
and it's like, okay,
it's kind of like
Let me find something else.
Yeah. Where did you get them?
Right.
Like you don't want to be pushy, because women are iffy. Like women are so. I don't know. It's like 10 or 20 or 100 different personalities of a woman, and you just don't know what to say. And I hope I'm not that person that's in public and I look like that I'm not approachable or anything like that, because I try my best to smile and be pleasant. And if I catch someone's attention, I'll smile to let them know that, hey, it's okay, I'm friendly. But I think that's my biggest thing is a lot of women just don't look approachable. And if you do approach them, they just don't I guess engage enough.
What do you think, Connie?
Oh, wow. I think that I think because we wear a lot of labels and we wear a lot of masks. I think if you get to the core of why we respond the way that we do, a bit of fear, that's a mask of fear. And I think when we get to the realism of who we really truly are, when you take off those masks, you feel like you have to be a certain way at work, a certain way at home, a certain way at church, a certain way when you're around other people. And we put those masks on and we wear them because we don't want to expose our real selves. And I think when you meet women, and like you say, and I just had this experience because, I'll smile at a woman and I say, hello, hi, hello. I said it 3 times a day, and I passed by 3 black women, and 2 out of 3 smiled. One of them looked at me like, I cannot believe she's speaking to me.
Yeah.
I don't take that personally. I feel like, because my intentions are good. And I feel like if you don't speak, I don't know what happened to you when you woke up this morning. I don't know what's going
on in your world.
interpersonally. with you. So I feel like that's an interpersonal issue versus an interpersonal issue because I don't know you. And I haven't taken the time to get to know you. The labels come in when I see Solar and I say, oh, she thinks she's cute because she's got that cute little figure. Or she thinks she's cute because she's got, or she thinks she's this or she thinks she's that. And I want to know that when someone figures out what another person's thinking, I want to know how they figure that out so I can be rich. I can get rich off those
Right.
And so I think it's a lot of the stories about each other we make up in our head because we all feel like we have to wear a mask instead of being vulnerable, but that goes back to being able to trust each other. If I let Solar into my world, that means that I'm going to open up a little bit more to her and I'm going to expose things to her. So the question I need to ask myself is, can I trust her with my story? Because you cannot trust everybody with your story. And I think we have to get better at picking and choosing who we share our stories with. Because some people can't carry that burden. It's too much for them and has nothing to do with you. But I have to trust that if I tell Lotus my story, that I'm not going to hear my story on the Black of the Berry.
All over the exactly.
All over the
Exactly.
And I don't know that I can do that until we establish a relationship. But how do you establish relationships? Compliments is one. They say, hey, you know, your shoes look nice. It's an icebreaker and it does open the door. And sometimes it's not so much that they're not responding to you because you said your shoes are nice. Sometimes people don't know how to accept a compliment. And that's very true because nobody's never complimented them. Or they may have gone through a bad breakup where they felt unpretty or they've been in a situation. So that's what I'm saying, the backstory. And so I will find that same woman, and I actually saw that same woman again when I was leaving, and I smiled and I spoke to her again, and this time she spoke to me. And sometimes I think people have a perception, I don't know if I shared this story with you, but I remember it's been years ago that one of my best friends now, and she lives in D.C., and when I first met her, she didn't like me. Now, beautiful, beautiful girl. I mean, Halle Berry, beautiful. And I didn't know her from a can of paint other than the fact that she was friends with my other friend, which is another topic. Some women can't have, like if you're friends with Lotus, then you can't be my friend. Or if you're my friend, you can't be friend with her. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But for her, one of the things that she said, well, we ended up, they were friends, and she would never talk to me, and I was always nice, and I would speak to her. Long short of this is, there was a bridal shower that I hosted for my actual best friend. She was there, and we had a fantastic time. And this was on a Saturday. That Monday, my best friend said, hey, you know, I'm not going to say her name, but she really wanted to talk to you. She thought you were really nice, and I was kind of shocked. And I said, oh, absolutely, she can call me, and she did. And so when she calls me, her commentary was, which I found troubling, because now you've never talked to me and you don't know me, but you've already labeled me. She thought I was a biatch. And I'm sitting here thinking, well,
why? Based on what?
I'm like, what did you base that assessment on? How did you make that assessment, and what qualified you to make that assessment?
Right.
Because one, in order for you to be qualified to make any type of assessment about anybody, you have to have spent some time in that person's energy space. So I've always decided I'm not going to get sucked into that vortex of negative energy. So I said to her, and I asked her that question, and guess what her answer was? I have no idea. You're the nicest person I've ever met. To this very day, Michelle, oh God, she doesn't live here, and she's not watching the Black of the Berry.
That's I don't know. She might be what about you?
But
Hey, girl.
hey, Michelle. But it's so funny because we actually became closer friends than she is with my bestie. So we've met up. She flies down from D.C. I've flown up to D.C. You know, we talk about things. We share things. In fact, she just texted me today, and I owe her a phone call back. But we ended up being really, really good friends. And so one of the things that I told Michelle, and I said, you can miss out on a lot of great relationships by being narrow-minded and not opening yourself up to different types of people. And why did you feel that way? You're absolutely beautiful. And then I figured out she felt that way because she was threatened. Some women are just threatened by other women because they have insecurities. And that's one of the masks we wear. We appear to be confident. We appear to have it all together. But it comes out in the form of Solar falls, and I'm picking on you because you're sitting next to me.
That's okay. That's okay.
Solar falls, and I tap dance on her misery.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because Solar fell.
Yeah.
that means that I'm
Yeah.
better than her. But that's only because I feel like I have no value unless she feels. Or if they really, really knew who I was, then I would not matter or be relevant, or they wouldn't like me. So all of those things are interpersonal things that we deal with every single solitary day. And that's why I will always say, take the mask off. At a certain point, I'm not saying tell your story to everybody, but sometimes we have to tell a story, which I tell the story to my son because you and I talked about that. I told us, and I was talking to my cousin, and I want to talk about her in this forum, not in a negative way, but I'm saying that sometimes you set the tone and the framework for those coming behind you, because Solar is watching me. She's watching you. You're watching Solar. I'm watching Solar. Solar may have kids. Connie may have kids. They're all watching us. These young girls
That's
are
right.
watching us.
That's right.
What are we teaching them about being yourself, your authentic self? Because at the end of the day, that's really all that matters, is to know who you are. And if you can discover who you are and be okay with that, because God created you that way, then I think that life will be much easier for you. But it takes a lot to get to that too, though.
I was talking to somebody earlier today. Actually, it was via text, but we were in a conversation, and I asked her the same thing, and she said something that really just kind of threw me, but there's so much truth to it. She said, women don't trust women just like they don't trust men.
That's right.
Like, because most of the time when a woman and this is sad, but it's the truth. Most of the time when women have issues with their relationships with the men in their lives, there's another woman involved. So when there's another woman involved, we build up in our minds they're not to be trusted.
I can see that, though.
Do you know that blew my mind? Like, because I never, I'm just a real thinker.
Yeah.
So I never connected those dots. Like, I know, okay, so the question I asked was, what is the biggest challenge? So she was saying, you're saying, like, sometimes it's just the attitude and being standoffish. You're saying insecurities that women deal with kind of come out in different relationships.
Yeah,
what she was saying was the reason that we are like that towards each other is just like women don't trust men, they don't trust women. Like, because it was another woman who probably knew you were involved with that man, who involved herself with him, and so we don't trust each other. And I can see that. I never thought about it, but I can see that.
And what if you have a friend who is dating a guy that's unavailable, and that's your friend? And you probably voiced how you felt about it, but, you can only say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do. So if you have a close friend that that is doing something that you don't necessarily approve of, then can you really, like, I can see how.
I can too, and I never thought about how that can impact the way that we view other women.
But we need to also take a couple of steps back as well, because we're so hard on ourselves as women, and we need to be more forgiving, because at the same time that woman is having that relationship with that man, men do the same thing, and we allow it to be okay with them. But if it's a woman doing it, we're very, very hard on the woman. And I can think of, and I think, I don't believe in letting the peanuts come between us. I think
like
that we need to have.
But you mean if it's two? But you mean if it's two friends though?
Friends or women, period.
Okay.
Or women, period. And the reason that I'm saying that is because.
Well, I do. If she allowed it to come in between us, then that was a choice she made.
Well, yes,
so I don't know how to have that
concerned.
relationship.
Well, yeah, as friends, if we're friends, that's different. If we're friends, then yes, that same situation. But even if it's somebody that I don't know, and this guy is playing off both women, I think at the end of the day, I always in any relationship, I always take a couple of steps back when a relationship ends to see what my part was. What part did I play? Was I a willing participant? And what part did I play? And what can I do different next time? And you have to kind of go back and do a self-evaluation and ask yourself those questions. But I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that come between us. It could be the job. It could be a promotion. It could be the pair of shoes that you're wearing. It could be the fact that I'm trolling your page on Facebook and Lotus is in Dubai and I want to go to Abu Dhabi and I can't get to DFW Airport, you know. And it could be that people see that you're living a lifestyle that they perceive that they deserve. And it could just be a number of things. Or that person could be popular, that person could have an office, that person can be whatever. Or let's even talk about women in marriage. I remember they went for Sierra's throat when she
For who?
tweeted Sierra
the
when
singer?
yes, remember she tweeted about John Gray. He did a sermon. He's one of the associate pastors at Lakewood Church in Houston, Joel Osteen's church, and he was doing a seminar on being women being marriage material. So you even get women even ostracize each other because she's single and I'm married, so I have the prize. Well, my thing is, just because he's sitting with you in church on the front pew with his arm around you doesn't mean he's not trying to choke the ish out of you. I mean, come on.
Or trying to be with somebody else.
Or trying to be with somebody else. So these very same men that you hold in such esteem because you're married to them, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're happily married. Because when you see a single woman going with a married man, that married man is going with a single woman. So he has some accountability there as well. So does that mean that you actually have a great marriage? So when we talk about in terms of things that we deal with women, we deal with a lot. So it's marriage, being single, it's, careers. If I support you in your campaign for whatever it is you're running for or for whatever promotion that you're seeking, then I feel like that you're going to be better off than me. And not being able to trust that, and can I trust you with, I'm not going to share all of my information. Let's say I'm mentoring you. I'm not going to tell you everything that I need to tell you, because if I tell you everything I need to tell you,
But it's a representation of you. I think that women are, women get it from all different angles. It's almost like we are the most scrutinized species on the planet.
Well, it ain't but two.
Well, being female, being female, because we do it to ourselves. Other women, do it. Men do it.
Right.
Just media does it.
Right.
Because they're telling you, oh, you should look like this. Oh, you should dress like this. Oh, you should, So we just get it from so many different angles, and it's like, how do you block all of that negativity?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You don't let it into your energy space.
But it's everywhere you go.
But it's not. You're not responsible. The only energy you're responsible for is the energy that you, Solar, brings in the room. I just said this today. I can have no control of the other people. Period. I don't control other people. The only thing I have control of is how I respond to them. So that's responding.
I got a couple of things I'm remembering that you said. I got a couple of things that.
And I probably did. I can't even remember what I said myself. Okay. But I think at the end of the day, we have to.
Play a little bit so you can.
I think at the end of the day, we have to one, know who we are. Because if you don't know who you are, then people will certainly tell you who you are.
Well, but let me a couple of things that you said. So we're talking about sisterhood. And we talked about, like one of my other girlfriends was saying, that we just don't trust each other as women. And I agree with you. We do have to hold the man accountable. However, I think that, well, to me, it's two completely different situations, because as a man, if I'm in a relationship with you, then that's between you and I. Right. You did what you did, made the or she did to him, whoever, it doesn't matter. But for the sake of this conversation, woman to woman, I think that as women, we honestly have to do a better job at protecting each other emotionally. I think we have to do a better job of protecting our families.
Agreed.
So what that means to me is that if I know that this man is in a committed relationship, it is my responsibility to, it doesn't matter the status of the relationship. Handle that. I'm not even saying that we can't be together ever, because it may be at the end term of their relationship. I don't know. All I know is that I don't want to play a role in bringing sorrow to any sister's life, period. So I have to hold myself accountable. I have to put myself in a position of accountability, even if it's just me to me, or me to any sister, because in my mind, this is just how I think, and I got different views on relationships, period. Most people they think I'm crazy if I even put it all the way out there. But what I'm saying is that what I don't participate in is, one, I can't stand lies, and two, I love my sisters too much to be a part of the sorrow that they feel in their household. So even if they're going through something in their relationship, for me, I'd rather you deal with that, because I don't ever want my sister to see me and relate me to any point in her life where maybe they could have got their marriage or their relationship or on track. But I was there as a division, and I'm not judging anybody. I'm not, because I don't do that. I'm just speaking for Lotus, because sisterhood really means something to me. And I'm not saying that it doesn't mean equally to other people based on the way that you interact. But what I'm saying is that when some people, every black woman that I come in contact with is my sister until she gives me a reason not to fool with her.
That's right.
And so when she gives me reason not to fool with, now everybody is not in the same circle, is not in the same group. Like I have my biological sisters. Nobody will ever be in a category with my biological. Those are my biological sisters. Then I have sisters that I have chosen, like you said, relationships that I choose to build, and those relationships mean something to me because I handpicked those relationships. So they mean something to me. But prior to that, you was just another black sister until I decided I wanted to get to know you. I could really miss out on a relationship with a fabulous woman because I'm being shady, or because I'm doing something, or I'm participating in something that I know is going to bring sorrow. I can't do that. Like, I just feel like to heal. The tag for our event on April 7th is Heal the Woman, Heal the World. Well, what that means to me is the first place she needs to be healed is emotionally to me. And you can't be healed emotionally. We can't heal each other emotionally if we participate in hurting each other emotionally. We can't. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Chirac, but Chirac was a movie where there was so much violence in Chicago, so they called it like Little Iraq. Yeah. So it was so much violence in Chicago, but these women said, until y'all stop with the violence, there ain't going to be no more sex. Them brothers got it together.
They
got it together.
I remember that.
They got it together.
I do remember that.
They did.
Yeah.
But here's my point. We're bringing that up. We could do that on all types of levels. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If every woman decided, no,
I'm gonna respect my sister. I may not know her,
but I'm gonna respect her.
I'm gonna respect her.
Right. There are women who will come around you just to get to know you and the shortcomings in your relationship, because they got their eye on your man.
Because they study you.
And they got their eye on your man too. So a lot of times these individuals who we think are our friends, they have an agenda. You need some more room.
Just a little bit more. Actually, I can probably. So we're going to get ready to get real close. Well, I did shower before I came, so I'm going to get into your intimate space.
We can share this mic and everything. We're good.
Okay. So anyway, those are just some of the things that I kind of wanted to.
To your point, I recall it, and this is really truly what happened, and this was years and years ago, and I remember having a friend. And I had two female friends, and one of them was dating this guy. And her boyfriend actually started sneaking around with my other friend. And initially, I didn't know anything about it until she told me. The other friend told me. And she told me in such a way that it was, of course, boastful for her.
Turn away just a little bit
And
so
to
the
make-
camera can see you.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
And for her to feel better about herself. And so I really wrestled with that because, you know, I felt like I didn't know what to do because I liked both of them. And I really, really struggled with that because I felt like what she was doing was
Wow,
wrong.
that would be
And
a
I think-
hard
Let me tell you how
situation
hard
to
it
be
was.
in.
It was a difficult situation. And this is when the rubber met the road, is we were actually going to a wedding. And they picked me up to go, and my other friend was there. So now the three of you are in this triangle that my other friend knows nothing about. But I know about it, and you know about it. And so I had to make a decision, which at first I said, well, this is none of my business. But then, am I really being a good friend to my other person? And how would I feel would I be in that same situation? So either way, I lose. If I say something to my other friend, I lose because she's going to be upset because I knew, but I waited to tell her. And then I'm going to lose my other friend because
you tell her.
Right. And I didn't care about the guy. And so in the end, I gave her a choice. And so this is how I handle it. And I said to my friend that was actually overstepping the boundaries, and I said to her, and I said, what you're doing is wrong. And she knew it was wrong. And I said, I'm going to ask you to stop doing it. I said, you're either going to tell my friend.
Were they friends?
And they were friends, yeah.
Wow.
They were friends. And so I said, you're either going to tell her, and I'm going to give you 1 week to do it, or I'm going to tell her. And I was like, oh, Lord Jesus, the clock's starting to tick.
Please
Lord Jesus, I'm like, oh, Lord, please don't let me know what I'm doing. But since I put that out there, then you've got to be able to stand by what you say.
Yeah.
So I put it out there, and, of course, she didn't tell him. So I just marched around to her apartment and I told her. And naturally, and God, oh God bless, she's passed away. But I went and I told her, and I sat down and I said, let me tell you what has happened. And I told her the story. And yes, of course, she was still angry. And, you know, and people are going to say things out of anger. And she said, you were my friend. I can't believe you waited to tell me. You should have told me right away. And blah, 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 blah. And I'm so upset that you waited to tell me. And when she calmed down, she said, you know what? She said, I realized it was a difficult position for you to be in. And she said, and I know that's something that's hard. It was hard. So I really appreciated that she knew. And it was really, really hard. I was like, oh, Lord, if I don't drink, I'm going to starve. I don't know how to handle it. But it actually ended up being okay. And then I told her, and she confronted the boyfriend, and he told her. And I told my other friend that I spoke to Dee today, and I told her about the relationship because I asked you to do it. Because I don't want to be the person in the middle. Because it's painful for me because I care about Dee and I care about you. And this guy is playing her, and he's living here with her in her home, driving her car, pretending that he loves her. And I said, the whole thing, this is wrong on so many levels.
What'd you tell me?
About what?
If you was in that situation and you knew something about a guy that I was really, really, really into.
Oh, yeah, I would tell you.
Yeah.
You know what? My personality is so upfront. If I just don't understand how two friends can recover from that, for one. But
Did they recover?
Oh,
the two of them?
The two of them didn't, but I was able to maintain my relationship with
Both of
Dee,
them.
but with my other friend, but on a different level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now I don't trust you either. Because if she did it to you,
my point exactly. Yeah.
That's
if
what you
she
was
did it
gonna
to
say.
you, then
No,
I
no.
know that she
What I
would
said
do it to
before.
me. She would do it
Exactly.
to me. So that's why I felt like, yes, it was the best choice to have made. And two, now I don't trust you ever, and I will never ever trust her with my man or lack thereof. But
How
when I
could
get a
you?
man, I wouldn't trust her. And even with the situation that you and I talked about, I know exactly what you're talking about. And in that situation, I don't know either party that well. I honestly really don't know either party that well. But what I do know is that you come from a whole line. Your legacy is going to be of women who are dating either married men or someone else's man.
That's involved.
And it takes somebody at some point, which you said, because we actually had that conversation, where you says you will break the cycle and be the first one to do that because you shared your story with me. So I'm not going to share her story, but I will suffice it to say this, is that you realize that your family is cursed. And God forbid you didn't have any girls, because that would continue that legacy. But the legacy that you're leaving. And my question was, don't you ever want to get married? Don't you value yourself more than that. Even if I know a man is involved with somebody else, you can't talk to me. I am going to run so fast until, oh my gosh, you know. And I have said to a guy, get away from me. You know that. What is that? Whoopi threw up because I think it does separate us as women. I think it's just drama. It's discord. And if you're reaching out to me, how many other women do you have in addition to me? You got the wife, and then the girlfriend, and you got a girlfriend here, girlfriend here, and girlfriend there. And some women are okay with that. I'm not okay with that.
That's unfortunate. And I think if I was in a position like that, my personality is just so kind of like, okay, look, we all in the same room. Let me tell you something. Such and such messing with such and such. Now y'all deal with that. Now I'm out of it.
So you know what? And let me tell you what's so funny about that. Because I actually said, and it's not ha funny, because I didn't. I guess maybe I'm still digesting the response, because I did say, I said, I think he has a girlfriend, and I said, I'm almost certain he has a girlfriend. I met a girlfriend before that he introduced as his girlfriend, and guess what? And I said, have you talked to him about that? And the response was 3 words, and you can guess what they were.
I can't. I was thinking hell to.
No.
Hell
3 words. No,
3
her
words.
response to me, 3 words.
I don't care.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
So if you don't care about this woman and her feelings of what's going to happen when she finds out, and she will find out, I'm telling you, what's done in the dark will definitely come to light. You don't care that she's in pain. You don't care that you inflicted that pain. You don't, because think about when it was done to you and how you felt, which was why you've said you're making the different choices in your life today, but you're doing the same thing to her that was done to you and that you have done to
just think it's karma. It's just
karma.
Yeah.
So what about, so what if, damn, I forgot what I was going to say. It was right there. What did you just ask, Lotus? Oh, you said I don't care.
She did 3 words.
The 3 words was I don't care. Okay, so I know what I was going to say. So some women feel like, oh, she's just a girlfriend. They're not married, so it's free game. Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel
It honestly doesn't matter because she always going to be the girlfriend till she the wife. You can't get to the wife without going through building the relationship and getting to know each other. You can't even get to the wife stage.
But even as a girlfriend, you share birthdays, you share holidays, you share family, you share friends. You're sharing a lot.
Well, it's just people not respected, and I don't want that. But I don't want to.
That's the way that they. That's the way that they justify messing with a guy who's involved in a serious relationship. Is, oh, well, they're not married, so.
Well, but people are always going to justify whatever it is that they want to justify.
I mean, they don't even care if you're married. I mean, what difference does it make?
No, they don't.
It's they don't care.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just trying to, just still sticking with the theme of sisterhood, I'm just trying to see how serious that word is. You know what I mean? Like, how far does that go?
Well, I want to do.
Why are y'all using the same mic?
Because I can't. I'm on
Pull
a
your
short
mic on
leash.
this side.
Is it
Will it come? Because I'm on a short. I'm on a short leash.
That mic could come to you. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I wonder, do sisters that are a part of a sorority? Because I've never joined a sorority.
Is soul sister? That's the closest we gonna get.
Other than soul sister, I'm talking about in college. I've never joined a sorority that that's known, right? That's nationally known. And I wonder if they have the same type of respect for each other. Like if I was, I don't know, what's the sorority?
AKAs.
If I was an AKA and we were dating the same guy, and now I'm upset with you because I found out he's cheating on me, and then I found out you were an AKA too. Do we become friends now? And you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think you necessarily become friends. I don't think you necessarily.
But their sisterhood to me seems like they really look out for each other.
But there's thousands of women in there. You don't have to be friends with all of them individually.
But you don't know them. But when you find out that they are an AKA or whatever, then
it is a sisterhood.
Then you gravitate. I'm like, oh, really? And y'all do y'all little whatever it is that y'all do. And then you're like, girl, what you need? You need to. I'm putting a good word for you at this job or what? You know what I mean? Like, they come together just knowing, like I can go somewhere and say, hey, I'm a part of Soul Sister Stand Up. Girl, really? Hey, you know, like you just get the love. So at that point, like, we're sisters by association.
So all of these mean mugging looks that we get and eye rolling and all of this distrust and all of this stuff, I think it comes from people who are a part of a sorority just as people who are not a part of the sorority. I think it's something that we deal with internally as based on how we feel about ourselves and how we fit. And I think at the end of the day, people just want to know that they matter and that you see them and that you value them. And at the end of the day, for me, when I think in terms of sisterhood, my first question to Lotus is, what do you need? Because for me, as a sister, I'm more interested not so much in okay, you're dating this man and that type thing, because that's that negative energy that will, and I don't want to get sucked into that vortex. So that's why I think you're careful about the people that you do bring into your circle. What my interest is how can I help you get to where you need to be, and I can support you, and I can trust you with my message. I can trust you to be a messenger. I can trust you if some days I feel unpretty, or I'm on the floor distraught and kicking and screaming because some man has broken up with me, or I am bulimic, or I have an illness, or I got a promotion or a raise. You know, I want to know that if it's raining and I'm standing on the bus stop, that you'll stand under the umbrella with me just as you would ride in a limo with me uptown. That's what I'm saying when I talk about in terms of sisterhood. So as we talk about relationships and how with each other, am I standing shoulder to shoulder with you because of what you have, or what I think you have, or what I think you can do for me? Or am I standing shoulder to shoulder with you because I genuinely care about you? We've talked about this. I've never had a black mentor. Never, ever in my entire career. I've never had a black mentor. My mentors were Filipinos, and my first mentors. And I've had white women. But one of the things that I've learned is, one, I have to give back. And I need to bring somebody with me. Because you know what? Even though I had a white member or a Filipino mentor, they're not going to tell me everything that they know. So we have to learn things for ourselves. So I don't just, and one of the things that I learned, and one of the things that I try to impart with my son, is keep with what's going on in the world. So when I look, I don't just read the Dallas Morning News. I'm reading the Boston, Globe, or the New York Times or something, because I want to be informed so that I can make informed decisions and have conversations with people on many different levels. Because respect for me, especially as women, it starts from the entry suite and it extends all the way to the executive suite. So it doesn't matter who you are or what your labels are on your clothes or your shoes or that type thing. What can I do to help you get to the next level? What is it that I can do for you so that you become successful? Because if you're successful, I'm successful. It's going to come to me, because again, that I think whatever you put out in the universe will rise to meet you.
You said something, you said that I need to know if you're doing this or supporting me or whatever because you care about me, right? And I was thinking, like, I feel like that's what women ultimately need. I feel like all women can be successful in whatever it is that they need to do, right, or want to do. But I feel like the blocker is it's either you have so much responsibility with family or children or work or whatever it is, that there's no one there to care about you, to look out for you.
Because you're taking care of everybody else.
And I feel
Which is the story of most women.
Yeah. Exactly. And so I think that ultimately women need, whether it's a mate or a sister or a aunt, but somebody that they know that has their back.
Right. I got you.
That's it.
And you know what?
Yes.
Do you think that this isn't a sisterhood question, but that was a good statement. Do you think that women are more of a support for the men in their life than men are for the women in their life?
I do.
Do you?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Because we just have a nurturing, giving nature. So if once we believe in you and we all in, then we giving you everything.
Then we were literally all in.
Yeah, yeah, we all in. We put our.
So
own
do you
dreams
think
on
that
the
as
back
far
burner.
as, okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think, is it challenging, how can I ask this? I have oftentimes looked for ways to take care of my friends that take care of me. So there are some people who just have a whole bunch going on in life. There are some people, sometimes we can meet people when they are in a certain frequency, and that's just where they are right now. So if you meet me when I'm in the frequency of it's a lot of struggle going on in my life, you may be where you have to be that support for me, but you may get drained with that, and that's just a real honest statement, because I love her, but she always got something going on. It's just never a peaceful moment. She just and I felt like that because of what I've gone through for a period of time. So what I'm saying is do you think sometimes people are misunderstood because people meet them at certain times in their life and you didn't get an opportunity to know this sister outside of her struggle, or she can be on an uprise and everything is fabulous and it is great and it is this, that, and the other, and she's so much fun to be around and blah blah blah, but then when she goes through something, it's like, wait a minute, hold on, where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? So do you think that we struggle with meeting people when they're in a certain frequency and we don't really know how to relate to them when they're in a different frequency, if that makes sense?
It makes sense.
It does. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You the guest.
So I think all of us as human beings are always going to be at different ebbs and flows in our life. Just simply, it's just the nature of the cycle of life. And when we meet someone that is, maybe there's someone that may be on a in the valley, to have empathy and compassion for that person and what they're going through. I may not understand it all because I haven't been there. And that's what empathy means, is trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Now, I'm not saying that you allow somebody to bring all of their negative energy and that you're a dump for them, because some people will like to dump things on you. So there may be some boundary setting or in some redirection when that person, and I've had somebody like that before, that was in my life, and the most negative person that you ever wanted to meet. And so how do you deal with that person? One, you want to run and hide and not spend that much time with them, but at a certain point, because of the environment that you're in, you are going to have to interact with that person. So I think it's a matter of finding out, how do I interact with this person, but at the same time understand them, but put boundaries in place. So one of the things that I did was, when they said something negative, I would say something positive. In fact, this happened the other day when I was talking to someone and they were very negative about what was happening. And I'm looking at the glass half full and I'm like, well, you know what? At the end of the day, you didn't lose, because I'm looking at what they're going through from a different perspective. And sometimes you can help them see from a different perspective, because when you're so close to a situation, you can't see anything except that the misery that you're wallowing in. But when you start to do something for somebody else, I'm wallowing in my misery, but at the same time, when I go to the homeless shelter, I appreciate the fact that I have a home. So I think you just have to, being the person that you are and knowing who you are will also help you to manage a situation with someone who may be going through those ebbs and flows, because I guarantee you that one day it's
going to be you.
It's
you're going to go through.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think, sis?
I think that it depends on your reasoning for being friends with that person. Because if it's genuine, like if you meet somebody that's on the high, they're doing good, of course, naturally you're going to benefit from those types of friendships, right? But if you're not in the friendship to benefit, but you're more so into the friendship because you genuinely like this person's personality and y'all just click and it just, you know what I'm saying, the energy is there and it just feels like a great chemistry, then I feel like when that person is at a low point, you can, you know what I'm saying, you can still be friends with them and help them, or be an ear or a shoulder or whatever for that person. So I kind of feel like it depends on your reasoning for why you're their friend. Or if you meet somebody on a low point, you know, they're going through something in their life, are you their friend because you feel sorry for them and you're just, you know, you just want to show some compassion, or what, you know? So you have to really think about, why am I friends with this person? You know, like, do I genuinely like this person, or am I feeling pity? Or
how do you handle that though? Like, what do you do? So if you have an individual who is a friend of yours and you genuinely, this is my sister and I love her, and she really is going through, I mean, and you can, you know, I'm kind of transparent, so you can use, I mean, I know you had to have gotten tired of all of the drama that I went through. How do you balance that? And you can use me or whatever, it doesn't matter. But how do you protect yourself? Because it is so important that we protect our own emotions, because when someone is going through something, if you really care about them, their energy can and will affect you and impact you. So how do you balance that to the point where I can be here for you, but sometimes I just can't, because I have to protect my energy?
You know, what one of my friends did for me, because I was like in this funk, and I was in this funk for a good little bit. And what she did for me was, she recognized what it was, and she made sure that I didn't sit and wallow in it. You know, she got me out the house. She made me do stuff I didn't want to do. She got on my nerves. You know what I mean? But she ultimately, when I look back at it, I'm like, thank you.
She saved my life.
Yeah, she did, because I would have sat in the house, in my bed,
and just been
cried.
depressed.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? But she didn't allow that to happen, and she didn't have to come up. She called me on my phone, and I don't even know why I answered, because I could have blocked her, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And she just kept, we gonna do, yeah, come on, get up. Are you
Be having a list of stuff to do.
Yes, so yes, but
and that's a real true friend.
Yes, it is.
And
yes,
we
it
can't
is.
use friend loosely either.
She is awesome. So when I tell you, she's been there time after time after time, and I know my friends get tired of hearing my crap, you know. And so so I think about that, right? Like, okay, so this time I'm not gonna come to my friend with this
whatever.
mess. I'm gonna say
friend,
something.
you're supposed to be
I
able
know,
to.
but I don't ever want to always come to them with trouble.
Oh my God.
So I try to.
That's the point of having your sisters.
But there's also
That is
such
her
thing
role.
as balance. And so I try to provide a balance. Now, if I'm the friend on the receiving end and it's too heavy for me, then I'm going to take a break, catch my breath, and then I'm going to come back and be like, all right, we in this again. What's up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so that's what goes back to the point I was making earlier about you can't trust everybody with your stuff.
That's right.
You've got to make sure that they're able to handle your stuff. And Lotus and I have talked all the time. I have 5 best friends. One of my friends is deceased now. And we've been friends for, oh my God, 26 years, 22 years. And in those 22 years, we've taken vacations, we've taken trips. We have never had an argument. We can disagree agreeably. We spend 11 days on the ship and we're very respectful of each other. We laugh together, we play together, and whatever those friends go through, we go through them together. And I can tell you right now, and I've shared this with Lotus, if I call either one of them right now and I say I need $2,000, they're not going to say, Connie, what do you need it for, or when are you going to pay it back? They're going to say, I got you. Because I know they got me, and by the same token, I know that I got them. And if I don't have it, we're going to figure out what
we gonna do.
How we gonna do?
Because
And
we
it's
need
not
to make this
what
happen.
you gonna do?
What we gonna do?
We're gonna
That's
do.
right.
And you very rarely find those types of relationships where you can do that. I actually have better friends than I have family. And at the end of the day, when I say using the term the friend loosely, when you're my besties, these are my sisters. These are my true sisters, and I don't have any sisters, but they're sisters to me. But if you are a friend, my responsibility to you if you ask me a question, Lotus and I talked about this as well, I'm going to tell you the truth because I feel like I'm doing you a disservice if I'm just a yes person and I agree with everything you say.
Right.
But I also have to give you the truth respectfully and make certain that I'm coming from a place where my intentions are in the right alignment.
Right.
And not to be mean-spirited in what I'm saying to you or to try to bring you down or to break you down. Because sometimes you can have women, it's kind of like a duck pecking at you, where they just take little pieces by saying little bitty things that you don't even think about the fact that they're pecking you apart until they pecked you apart. By just saying little things. Oh, Lotus, you look good today, but you know that wrap right there, I think a red one would look better. You know what I mean? Pecking.
Yeah.
Little
like
things.
you give a compliment and take a little bit of it back.
And take
So
it back.
just why even give it?
Yeah. So why even give it?
Right.
But you
Right.
find people and you find women who do that. So I feel like when I go to my friends with the issue or concern, no matter how heavy it is, and I know that even though they're all connected through me, there are certain things that I share with each one of them because I know that this one will handle it better than that one. But I still respect and trust every single one of them.
They serve different
Right,
purposes.
because they serve different purposes.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, I was going to ask.
Go there.
I don't know. Sometimes I'll be trying not to go there.
Go there.
This is the black of the berry. Come on.
So, how do we deal with our friendships, our sisterhood, our sisterships that mean something to us, but we really do know that there is an elephant in the room that causes tension that we really need to address so we can get back to just being
So we can get to
our
where
good
we
friends.
need to go.
So, because I do think that a lot of people are afraid to address situations, and understandably so, because everybody does not know how to receive constructive criticism or feedback or just honesty, period. Just honesty, period. So we can become standoffish. Or we also have relationships where we really do care. We really, frenemies. I really do like her, but I really can't stand her. You know what I mean? Like, it's some things, like, I really want to be around her, and I really want to, but I know inside of myself, I am. If I'm in a quiet room, and it's just me and me, I got to deal with me. And I know it's some things about her I'm probably a little jealous of, so I find ways to kind of pick at her, or, I don't really compliment, my friend or my sister, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get to a place where we have real, authentic relationships in order to be able, and this is just my opinion, in order to be able to really grow, because I don't know how to do fake. I just don't. Like, it is a real challenge. Like, I can really try for so long to build a relationship, but when I figure out, okay, this is really, I'm not a surface chick. So it's kind of challenging for me to have depth when I know it's so much stuff sitting here. Now, we could work through that stuff and actually have a real relationship, but most people don't want to work and sift through the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to look in the mirror to say, yeah, I really didn't handle her right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I really do know. Okay, so y'all both know me. You know that I really read energy more than anything. Like, I respond to energy quicker than anything. And so,
Yeah, you do.
because of that, you can tell me all day long everything is good, and I know that it's not. I know you ain't feeling me. What do you do with that?
You have to be
She
transparent.
looked at me.
She looked at me too. You have to be transparent, and you have to be your own authentic self. And
Yeah,
I
but people,
think-
but that's
but
not.
here's the thing.
We got to deal with reality. That
That's the
sounds
thing.
good,
But wait a minute.
that ain't
Let me
real.
tell you why. Let me tell you why it's
Okay.
real. Let me tell you why it's real.
Okay.
Because if your Lotus are responsible for the energy you bring in the room, and if I have a problem with you, I just redirected someone today. I did. You cannot handle me. Don't ever try to handle me, number one. So let's stop right here. And I think saying it in real time instead of letting it stew at the moment that it's happening, because sometimes we let things fester and it grows and it snowballs, and then we start creating our own stories in our head, and there's nothing near what the situation really actually is. And so one of the things that I've learned for me is to address it right away, which is in a situation that happened today, and for me to address that, for number one, don't handle me. Number one. Number two, you need to ask me and not assume something from me. And if you're not showing that emotional maturity that I feel like comes with what you're trying to do, then I don't think you're qualified to do it, because what you're trying to do carries weight. And it's going to be a much greater weight in the other place as opposed to what it is now. So if you think this is a lot of weight you're carrying now, oh boy, let's wait until you get to that next level. That's a whole lot of weight. And guess what? All of the world is going to be watching you. And so for you to respond, whether you're responding in a text message or if we're sitting on the phone talking, is very, one, immature, emotionally immature, and number two, it's inappropriate and it's disrespectful. And you don't get to be disrespectful to me because we have a relationship.
So what do you do? Do you sever that relationship, or what do you do?
Well, I'm severing the relationship.
So because look,
I'm taking my distance. I'm taking a couple of steps back because you can't be in my energy space at all. So I will, from a distance, and from a very long handle spoon. That's what I do, because
I think we have to learn the individuals who we deal with, because
that's what I was thinking.
You may be, John, let's deal with it right now. I'm like that. Solar is not. And it took me, I had to learn her and she had to learn me, because I'm one of those, well, we going to talk about it. And she's like, no, I want to talk to you right now. But if I push it, then we're going to end up arguing.
Having a little.
But at the same time, if it's too much time in between
it's gonna fester.
It's gonna fester, and it's gonna impact the relationship. So it has to be some type of a medium, because her way is, I don't want to deal with that right now. Mine is, I want to deal with it right now.
And see,
but well, hold on, let me finish. But the challenge is, if I do it my way, I'm going to impact my relationship with her, because she's not ready to deal with it right now, and she may have a temperament that says, if I deal with it right now, I'm gonna say some stuff that I can't
take back,
and I can't recover from, and it's going to impact our relationship. Whereas with me, I don't like to allow relationships that I am concerned with. If I feel an energy is off, I need to see why it's off so I can fix it. I'm a fixer.
Yeah,
I'm a fixer. So I have to fix it in order to, because it matters to me. Now, it's some people, I just don't give a damn no more. I tried, it didn't work, so oh well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to, I guess you have to see the value in each relationship is different, and some are worth more work than others, and that's okay. And we have to be honest with each other to say, because I have another relationship that is, I'll say, maybe 7, 8 years old. It's not new, but it's not old. But we had probably a 3-year gap, and it's a challenge for me. But the relationship, the foundation of it was solid enough to where, even though it is a challenge for me, I'm still willing to put in the work, because I know the foundation was solid enough. However, had we dealt with it and had that powwow up front, we probably would be way down the road, skipping, dancing together somewhere. But time got in the way, and now it's hard to recoup what could have been. And I think that's the same thing with a lot of sisterhood, just relationships, period. Like, we got to find that balance.
I kind of feel like, I'm sorry, I kind of feel like it depends on the situation, though. And it could be just my personality, because I tend to dismiss a lot of things that I feel are not extremely important. But I just feel like it depends on the situation. Like, whatever happened, if it's something minor, then why not just let it go? It's like, okay, I stepped on your toe. Can we move on?
But for some people,
You know what I mean?
but for you, it may be minor. But for me, it may, and it may be
I know.
something that's very big to you that's little to me.
And
So
I
what
know,
do we do?
I know I have that problem though. So, and because I recognize, because I know who I am, you know, then I try to say, okay, I may not like it, but I say, okay, she want to talk about me stepping on her shoe. Let's talk about it. You know, I may act like a bee about it, but I'm going to say, okay, let's talk about it. So you just got to know. You just got to know your friend. And even though I act stupid and say, ugh, okay, let's talk about it, then you just got to be like, okay, well, I don't appreciate you acting like that, but we going to talk about it. Like, that's just a part of the development and the growth.
Okay.
And that's the only way that you going to learn your friend is when you bump heads or have a situation that you got to address and you know, okay, her personality ain't for this, but mine is, so we're going to have to meet in the middle.
So I think my approach has been to that point. I think my approach has always been, and it's worked for me, and it works for me and my friends, so I don't know about all this other stuff with people that go this long, is I will say to you, I have a concern that I need to bring to your attention. And if you say to me, well, I don't feel like talking about it right now, I'm going to say, okay, fine, I respect that, but when will we be able to talk about it? Simply because I think to allow somebody to stew, and I'm not saying that you're stewing, but to allow somebody to stew for a long time, you may stew for 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, this was my issue and my concern. And yes, it's still my issue and concern, but in the meantime, something more important has come along. And then we drop it. And then to your point, it festers over a period of time. And I think there's a way to have respectful conversations and to disagree agreeably. Even if I don't agree with you or you don't agree with me, that doesn't mean that we can't have a intelligent conversation about it without it being reduced to yelling and shouting or whatever that case may be, or just a hardcore discussion. I think it's just a matter of being able to know the person that you're talking to. If that person is reactive, because sometimes you do have people who are reactive, and when you got somebody that's reactive and they're irrational, and if they're irrational, then you cannot have a conversation with that type of person, and I wouldn't even attempt to. And that's going to come with knowing your person. But at the end of the day, having conversations, they're hard conversations, and I call them courageous conversations because it's hard to have a conversation with somebody
When you're addressing something that you have an issue with.
It's hard, yes, and it takes a guts to be able to do that. But I think we have to, if we're going to see movement and a shift in our relationships with each other.
And it builds the relationship.
And
That's
it builds
exactly
it.
what it does.
Mhm.
It
It
builds the
builds it.
relationship. Like if you can overcome, it's like a marriage, you know? You're going to have issues and you're going to have to discuss those issues, and however it may come, you know, you just got to deal with it. But if your relationship can survive it, then hey, start for you. You know, you're moving forward to a good, strong, solid, you know, friendship. You're going to look back 20 years and be like, man, you know.
Or you're going to divorce that sisterhood for irreconcilable differences. and that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, I want a divorce from this sisterhood.
I mean, sometimes, but then too, I also think this though. I also think that we put a lot of unnecessary pressure on relationships because I really do think that sometimes we place people in positions that they're not supposed to be in.
Absolutely.
And I think that you have levels, and I know 1 million people. But out of that million, it may be 1,000 on this side. And then out of that 1,000, it may be 100 on the inner circle. And then out of that 100, I may have 2 people that I actually really fool with. And I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that.
And a relationship should not be, a friendship should not be a lot of work. If you're a lot of work and you're high maintenance, just for me to be friends with you, I need to find me another group of friends. Because it should not be high maintenance, and it should not be, when I say high maintenance, it's you always got some type of drama going on. It's always about you. It's always, you know, this type thing. It sucks your soul. It's soul sucking. And you spend a lot of your time and energy because now you've gotten sucked
because
into
you're
that
draining
vortex.
all the energy out of the room.
And you get sucked into that vortex of negative energy yourself, and all of a sudden you're being negative and you're complaining and you're acting just like them. It's like, what happened to me?
Oh, I had that experience. Not with a sister though, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Good. I'm glad it wasn't a sister.
No, sister. I'm just saying.
Good, not a sister.
All right, y'all. Well, we have 6 minutes. Did you find that?
I did
You
not.
didn't?
I
Okay.
didn't see it on the Blackberry or
Well, we
HighVibe.
did. We did. So let me find it because I know we did.
I know we did it. I just don't.
Okay.
I wonder if I wrote it down. I think I did. Let me see. Oh, I wrote it down on a notes paper that we had.
Well, I think one of them sent me a flyer. I just got to remember her name. And so what we're doing is we had a show last week, and the brother and sister came on, and they were talking about an event that we wanted to make sure we told you guys about. So, all right. And she put us on the spot because I'm trying to do better with if we put something out there, we got to have the information. So let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I think I wrote it on that other paper.
Otherwise, we'll just have to post it.
We'll post it. Yeah, go to HighVibe Media and Marketing Group or the Black and the Berry.
Both of them. We just have to put it out there.
And you'll find the information on there.
Okay. So we'll just post it. But what it is, it's a fundraiser for a brother that is a political prisoner. And so they're doing a fundraiser for him. So we will definitely put it on all of our social media and update you guys on when that event is. I really wish we had it. Okay. All right. So we have 5 minutes. And so what we like to do is just do our wrap up on our final thoughts on the conversation for tonight. So, Connie, you could go first if you could give us a minute wrap up of just your outlook on the conversation tonight.
So the first thing I want to say is I apologize because I have absolutely no idea what camera I was supposed to look in.
Well, we were just having a conversation.
Notice has been on my case about looking in the right camera, but I'm accustomed to looking at the person when they're talking to. So forgive me this transgression. Forgive me this one transgression because I don't know what camera. But I just think it was I think it was a very eye-opening, revealing conversation, and I think that we were transparent about a lot of things that we ourselves have experienced or even went through or even thought about. So for me, I think it's a good start to our event on April the 7th, Healing the Woman, Heal the World, because I think it starts with us because we are the rib, the backbone.
That's right.
We are all of that in society, and as women of color, I think that it's way past our time, but this is our time to step up and take a seat at the table as well.
Very good.
That is. I agree because I just feel like a lot of times when women embrace themselves and start speaking, about how great they are, people like to say, oh, she's a feminist, or, oh, she doesn't like men, or, things like that. And I just would appreciate if people would just focus on the upliftment and the beauty of women, not her physical beauty, but the inner beauty.
Who she is, her person.
Yeah, like, because you can see a person inner self, you know what I mean, and who they are and what they do and how, just their energy overall. So instead of calling, because I don't really consider myself a feminist, but I think sometimes the way that I talk could be considered a feminist, and it's not so much as that. I just love being a woman, and I love being black, so whatever it is that I'm talking about, I just love being who I am. So I think that I would just like to encourage people to continue to uplift women, strangers or people that you know, and I encourage men, other women, and children to do that because it's important. We need that.
All right, so this has been a great conversation, and we're always very passionate about sisterhood and speaking about sisterhood. I want to thank Connie for joining us tonight and just sitting in on the conversation. So, my final thoughts on sisterhood. Sisterhood is sister good. But I will tell you this. I do think that we have to be okay with being selective with who we allow into our inner circle and into our space, because you're responsible for your space. And if you allow you can really, it is a very true statement that one bad apple can spoil the whole bunch. Right. So what I'm saying is we're all beautiful people in our individual way. However, there are some people who are literally toxic. That doesn't mean that they cannot be healed, because they can be if they put in the work to be. But it is okay to protect yourself and your circle from toxic individuals. But I also think that we need to pay attention to why individuals are the way that they are, and we have to care. Now, again, that doesn't mean that we have to always extend ourselves to everybody, because all chemistries just don't mix. It just doesn't. Some is just going to be oil and water, and it's never going to come together. And then you can have some some water and some sugar, and you put a little lemon in it, and it's going to make some beautiful lemonade. But all of it does not mix. So, and it is okay, because that individual or you may mix in a different circle. But what I'm saying is this: take the time to get to know individuals before you write them off.
Right.
When you get to know them, if you see some red flags or some warning signs, and you try to cultivate, you try to work with it, you try to nurture it, that relationship, and it doesn't work, be okay with saving yourself. Be okay with it. And that's a lesson that I'm personally learning, that I did not always know. It is a new lesson for me, because I'm a Cancer, and Cancer women are like the mothers of the earth. We soak energy, and we love everybody, and it's just always it's the mama. So because of that, that individual also can absorb other people's energy. And I had to understand, wait a minute, I'm happy by nature. Why do I always get down when that individual come around? So it's okay for us to try to heal each other, but it's also okay for us to save ourselves. The other thing that I want to say about sisterhood is respect the sisterhood. The first part of our conversation, we were talking about getting involved with individuals and choices that we make that we know could hurt one of our sisters and our brothers too. But right now we're talking sisterhood, so it's okay for us to zone in on that. Respect the sisterhood. Can you imagine if every woman said, no, I will not participate in bringing hurt to any other woman, because I don't want that for me, and treat individuals the way they want to be treated? Don't you know it's a whole lot of situations that will be solved off the bat? Because I love my sister like I love me. I'm going to treat her and respect her household, respect her family, respect her relationship, respect her job. You know, some people will come up to somebody's job and they want to act ignorant. No, respect each other like you want to be respected. If we really we treat people the way we want to be treated, we really would be all right. Because if you don't want nobody disrespecting your relationship or your sistership, or talking about one of your friends, you don't do it to somebody else. It's just that simple. That's our time tonight on the Black of the Berry. We will see y'all next week. Peace.
Oh wait, hold it.